In 53 BC, one of Rome's richest and most powerful men led an invincible army into the desert, hungry for glory. Marcus Licinius Crassus, the man who crushed Spartacus, the third pillar of Rome's first triumvirate, marched with 7 legions to conquer the Parthian Empire and claim victories to rival Pompey and Caesar. Instead, he met a general almost no one remembers today, Surena. With a smaller, all-cavalry force, Surena annihilated the Romans in a single day, killed Crassus in one of history's most humiliating ways, and sent shockwaves through the ancient world. This is the story of Surena, the forgotten genius who proved Rome wasn't invincible, and paid the ultimate price for his triumph. Who was Surena? Surena wasn't just any commander. He belonged to the ancient and powerful house of Surena, one of the 7 great Parthian noble families, second only to the king in wealth, prestige, and influence. Plutarch described him as the tallest and most handsome Parthian of his age, brave, cunning, and unmatched in ability. He first rose to fame helping King Orodes II seize the throne. In a brutal civil war, Surena captured the rebel city of Seleucia, personally scaling the walls at the head of his troops and crushing the opposition. For that, Orodes rewarded him with command of the western frontier, just in time to face Rome's invasion. When Crassus crossed the Euphrates with around 40,000 men, mostly heavy legionaries, Surena was given just 10,000 troops, 9,000 horse archers and 1,000 heavily armored cataphracts. No infantry, no supply wagons. To the Romans, it looked like easy prey. But Surena had a plan that would change warfare forever. The road to Carrhae. Crassus wanted a quick, glorious conquest. Ignoring warnings from the Armenian king and his own officers, he rejected a safe northern route through the hills and took a treacherous desert path, suggested by a treacherous Arab guide who was secretly in Surena's pay. The Romans marched in a massive hollow square, vulnerable on the open plain. Heat scorched them, dust choked the air. Then, on June 9th, near the town of Carrhae, modern Harran in Turkey, the Parthians appeared. Surena hid his main force at first, draping silk cloths over their armor to conceal the glint of metal. What the Romans saw was a glittering sea of cavalry, drums pounding like thunder. A psychological assault before a single arrow flew. Crassus formed his legions into a defensive square. He expected the Parthians to charge and break like barbarians always did against Roman discipline. He was wrong. The battle unfolds. The Parthian horse archers encircled the Romans and unleashed a storm of arrows. These weren't ordinary bows. The composite recurve bows of the steppes could punch through Roman shields and armor at range. The Romans raised their shields in the famous testudo formation, but the arrows rained from all sides. Legionnaires fell by the thousands, pinned like porcupines. Crassus sent his son Publius forward with 1,300 cavalry, including elite Gauls, to drive them off. The Parthians pretended to flee. The classic feigned retreat. Publius chased right into a trap. Surena's cataphracts, clad head to toe in chainmail, slammed into the Romans like living tanks. The Gauls fought bravely, grabbing Parthian lances barehanded, but they were slaughtered. Publius was surrounded, killed, and his head raised on a spear in front of his father's eyes. Back at the main force, the arrows never stopped. Why? Surena had a genius supply line, 1,000 camels loaded with spare arrows, resupplying the archers on the move. The Romans expected them to run out. They never did. As the day wore on, 20,000 Romans lay dead or dying. Crassus, stunned by his son's head paraded before him, ordered a retreat under the cover of darkness, abandoning 4,000 wounded to be massacred. The Bitter End and Legacy. The survivors fled to Carrhae town. Surena offered terms. Peace if Crassus surrendered himself. Desperate, Crassus agreed to parley. It was another trap. At the meeting, a scuffle broke out, some say deliberately. Crassus was killed. Legend claims the Parthians poured molten gold down his throat, mocking the richest man in Rome's insatiable greed. The eagle standards of multiple legions were captured, a humiliation Rome obsessed over for decades. 10,000 Romans were taken prisoner. Many resettled in distant Parthia. Some of their descendants were reportedly found centuries later. Surena returned in triumph, only to be executed by the jealous King Orodes, who feared his general's fame threatened the throne. Carrhae wasn't just a battle, it was a warning. It halted Roman expansion eastward for generations, proved cavalry could destroy heavy infantry, and inspired tactics from the Huns to the Mongols. Surena, the man who masterminded Rome's worst defeat since Hannibal, vanished into obscurity, betrayed by the king he crowned. Subscribe for more leaders who humbled Rome. Next video, Tomo Gozen, the female samurai who fought topless and collected enemy heads.